Hi, how are you today? Thanks for joining me for VChat. When Winston Churchill died in 1965, my family lived in a suburb of Toronto, Ontario, in Canada. As part of the British Commonwealth, Churchill's death was a really big deal. We watched his funeral in an assembly at school. He'd served in the military and then gone on to serve in Parliament, eventually becoming Prime Minister. And as Prime Minister during World War II, he'd rallied the British against the Nazis and with Allied help defeated them. He seemed like a paragon of virtue. Then one day I read about his role and the role of his policies in the Bengal Famine in India and the millions who died because of it. His shine quickly tarnished. So why do good people do bad things? Why does King David decide he can get away with adultery and murder, among other things, as he gratifies his lust for Bathsheba? The answer, I think, is that he thought he could, and he thought he could get away with it. So how should we think about David? And how can he possibly be a man after God's own heart? That phrase is used of him twice in the Bible, and both times after the Bathsheba affair. We're going to look at this whole story on Sunday, and as we do that, we're going to see some important lessons and gain some real encouragement for us today. On another note, I'd like to call your attention to an article published by the Presbyterian News Service about our youth group. There's a link to the article with today's email. It's also available on the church website. I'd strongly encourage you to take a look at it. It's really a neat story about what the kids have done, and they're raising $5,000 for the farm aid package. With that, I'd like to say goodbye, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.